My friend Casey and I drove out here together. He found an ad on Craigslist for a drummer that had a lot of the same interests that I did.
Mike invited me to go see a solo performance of his, and
immediately we just started talking and we were like, wow, we really have to play together. There's really no doubt in either of our minds, and we got together and played, and it was just like exactly what we both were looking for at the time. We just noticed that we had this chemistry and we were able to play off each other and really focus on the groove and just focus on the foundation.
It's been us, just the two of us, relentlessly since then.
We've done shows together as two bands, maybe us opening for them, or vice versa. We've done a couple tours with them.
It's usually pretty easy for us to kind of get together and kind of make something happen.
There's room for every kind of configuration, and I think RSC's development, really Mike and Josh working together as one brain in a way.
My favorite thing about Mike's guitar playing is that he composes guitar solos that you can sing as if they're a vocal melody.
Tasty player and always seems to kind of know the right thing to add to something. A lot of guitar players don't quite have that.
With Mike's playing, I always really admired his phrasing and his soul.
And it's not about the pedals or the sounds or the effects. It's about what's going on in his head and how he contributes to the music in an improvisational setting.
Josh has a great melodic sensibility. He writes a lot of melodies for RSC, which drums being kind of an amelodic instrument, you don't often get that out of a drummer.
His whole production sense and musical sense is something that really plays into our whole chemistry.
You have to be a person in this day and age who still appreciates actual musicians on stage creating something from scratch. What we do on stage is unique to that night every time.
So we recorded the Maybe EP early 2005, which was our first effort in putting out some kind of a demo. We started handing that out at shows all over Hollywood and all over LA. We probably handed out 5,000 or 6,000 CDs.
Up until now, we've just been releasing rehearsal room jams, live shows, and getting everything we've got through those recordings only.
We ended up deciding that we should just go into the studio and try to define where it is that we're trying to go musically, instead of continuing to use all the same live show recordings and stuff that we had used in the past that we weren't really proud of.
RSC now is in the rehearsal room every other day of the week for 5 to 6 hours.
The North Hollywood EP is a representation of the last 5 years of us really just spending a lot of time in North Hollywood in the studio and just diligently trying to work and put something together.
The fact that the two of us have done this entire thing on our own is definitely a departure. Up until this point, we've played guitar, bass, and drums in the band. And that's been the extent of our musical capabilities. And now we're getting more into incorporating the computer as an instrument. It takes us in an entirely different direction and makes us appreciate an element of our music that we hadn't even recognized on its own.
We really do see the value in this, and all the hard work that we put into it has definitely been worth it.
The diversity of the entire listen of the EP from song to song, to me it makes complete sense.
It just kind of seems to go together naturally, yet it's just so completely all over the place.
That's all you need is those 4 songs and you pretty much understand us.
I feel like it's a cultivation of a lot of different musical styles, and it's definitely a solid listen.
Chilenas.